The healthcare industry is broken. And the idea that by subsidizing healthcare insurance, you're going to help with healthcare costs, I think has been proven to be, frankly, 100% wrong. And all it has done is inflated the bureaucracy of the healthcare insurance companies and given them way more money. Obamacare is just a big giveaway to the healthcare insurance industry. And we talked about this some earlier this week and last week, but I do think it's significant that if you polled Americans and you said, what companies do you hate the most dealing with in America? Don't you think healthcare insurance would be number one overall right now, Buck? If you asked Americans, hey, what for-profit industry out there that you have to deal with on a regular basis do you hate the most? I don't even think there's a close second. I think it's the healthcare insurance companies. And unlike car insurance, which is frustrating, but as these self-driving cars come on the market, I actually think the overall cost of car insurance is going to plummet. I mean, you can argue as we move into more and more of a self-driving car industry and future, that's one where you look at it and you say, oh, the amount of money that we're having to spend on cars could end up going down in the future, and I'm optimistic that could occur. The problem with healthcare insurance is we're getting more and more older people in the country, and the amount of healthcare that you need skyrockets as you age. And so I don't see any way that this is going to get better. And really, the only way healthcare works, the only way healthcare insurance works, is if there are tons of young people who basically never need insurance that are paying for older people who do need insurance. One positive, Buck. I do think some of these GLPs, which could drive down obesity if they are widely distributed, could start to decline because obesity is probably the leading cause of necessary health care.
Right now, and I'm not a doctor, but I am allowed to have opinions on national policy when it comes to health. If we took some of the tens of billions of dollars wasted on nonsense in the healthcare apparatus and directly subsidized GLP medication, because right now, these companies, they're going to make their money. They have a right to make their money because they did the research, all that stuff, right? We're capitalists. Okay. But if you want to talk about government subsidies, subsidizing, and this is, by the way, straight from Elon Musk, he said the same thing, widely subsidizing GLP-1 access to medication for people, not making it free, but making, subsidized, because it's crazy expensive now. I don't know. It's
that's right.
It's thousands of dollars a month or something if you can't get your insurance to cover it, and insurance doesn't want to cover it because it's so expensive. The healthcare costs that this would actually bring down, Clay, for individuals and the whole nation, it would pay for itself many, many times over. That's just the reality of the way that obesity is $200 billion a year of healthcare spending.
I'm cautiously optimistic that is, if you want to have a positive on healthcare, I am cautiously optimistic. These are, by the way, what are the companies?
Mounjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic is the super famous one. This is Eli Lilly. This is Pfizer. This is the big drug giants. These drugs are changing people's lives all over the place.
And so if we can drive down obesity, we drive down the need for as much medical coverage. To your point, Buck, we could potentially save hundreds of billions of dollars in healthcare. It's a positive out there if you need a positive.
AI. I know we got to jump into a break here, Clip. We have AI doing all these things for us now. It's amazing. There are cheeseburgers. Maybe this Ozempic and cheeseburgers go ahead. But there are cheeseburgers being delivered to me by robot. Can AI handle this so that I don't have to spend 30 minutes filling out paperwork every time I go to every doctor, even when I fill out stuff online before I go? Can't we get to the point where the bureaucracy of medicine, at least, is less of a total disaster?
Doctors want that too, because the amount of time that they have to spend on paperwork is infuriating.
By the way, it's all because the insurance companies do this to make it as a whole other conversation. They actually do this on purpose.
Yesterday, Veterans Day, we dedicated a large portion of the show to acknowledge all the incredible service members out there. Comes as no surprise that many in this audience have family that served. We heard incredible stories you can hear on the podcast on the iHeartRadio app. For our sponsor, Tunnel to Towers, every day is Veterans Day. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes and their families, especially when tragedy strikes. Heroes like Scott Abrams. For more than 3 decades, Scott served his community and country as a United States Marine, a New York City police detective, and a volunteer firefighter. While he was a police escort on his NYPD motorcycle, his life changed in an instant. He was hit by a bus, crushing 4 vertebrae in his neck, leaving him partially paralyzed. Scott's recovery was grueling, but through unwavering love, strength, and perseverance, Scott, his wife Tara, and their son Joshua made it through unimaginable challenges. Tunnel to Towers honored Scott and his family with a mortgage-free smart home. Thanks to supporters like you, Scott now has a home he can move freely in as he heals and raises his family with dignity. More heroes waiting and in need of assistance. Honor their sacrifices now. Join us in donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.